So I think, oh.
And Granger,
that's interesting. I thought they'd go for something with harder basic attack, but I think they're very happy. They just want to get that Granger and the Marcel combo together. I mean, they couldn't have gone so wrong with the pick. It's not a bad pick.
Is there something that stops it right now, or do they need to pick that up still on Entity 7's side?
Right now, I don't really see anything that can really stop this kind of composition.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like, I mean, the standard choice would just be the Belleric in Rome.
He has been pretty dominant so far, I will say, as a hero today. Won most of his games, although did lose that last one that it was stolen away on the side of Aurora Gaming by Team Liquid.
They wouldn't even be too crazy to go Gato Kacha, I'd say, as well, but they go for the chip. Whoa.
All right.
Adding to the unique hero pool seen so far. I think they added 2 or 3.
Yeah, what the heck? All right, we're just seeing surprises. The Granger, I get. You're playing strong side. The chip here is like, it's great, but it will always be dictated by your first ult. If your first ult goes...
This third series is going to be real interesting. Looking at the way this draft is going to play out, it feels like there's answers on both sides. The real question and the real test is when they hit the Land of Dawn. First interaction, how are they going to play this out nicely? Because the way that I see it, Chip has already figured out the starting point of the enemy jungler. The same can be said for Onyx side and Entity 7. Like Mirko said, it's that first portal that's going to make the difference.
Yeah, the chip is in a... it's just in a weird place right now, I feel like. I almost thought they'd just go with the Belleric. That's not the case, but, you know, whoa, already taking a lot of damage early on. Oh, the flicker used from Sands. First blood already going to Onyx to start things off.
Oh man, that was a mistake for sure. Again, they're just forgetting that Eudora, especially with Superconductor, has reduced Fork Lightning cooldowns, especially when it is empowered here by the same marked target. However, same problems are still gonna last. At least Shin didn't lose too much in his lane, but the rest of them, right? Now they have the information. Kyrie is having the time of his life stealing away camps.
Yeah, this is something that they can continue to do. Going back on the chip pick, we'll have to see if they can utilize this. The shortcuts, the portals, like you mentioned. Again, you don't see him picked up too often. It's him and usually the Luo Yi that can play that macro level kind of style of gameplay. And Chip, if utilized correctly, can do a whole lot here. But with a Marcel in this setup in the mid lane, that's what they're going to go for anyway. Sans, there's some revenge. Bagwin also able to get a kill now for himself. So, hey, good for Entity 7 to get things going.
Really good. And more importantly, this is the fact that HideOnBush understands that, hey, despite not being level 4, it doesn't mean that I can't actually kill you in the lane if I catch you off guard. Especially since Sans very visibly used this flicker in the lane. Now, Kelra kind of out of the fight for now, but he wasn't going to participate in the upcoming turtle anyways.
Yeah, this is one of the things, too. The Granger only picked a couple times so far, you know, and this is going to the hands of Kelra. Obviously, very comfortable on this hero, can make it work, but, you know, I think that's the main thing, too. You know, the decision between who gets the Sky Piercer, most likely, as the panel mentioned, Hirara here, you know, you got to protect still Kelra on the Granger. He's got the range to work with, and yeah, I kind of agreed, maybe a little bit stronger of an audio attacker here, where he's got to rely on the Rhapsody shots, but it's all about positioning, and we've seen it before from Kelra. First turtle up, though, that's already going to get started down. RWM drop down, Loot be gone, and now Akashi going to get shredded through here, so a bit of a trade. Turtle still up, Keyboy almost level 4, will have that golden hour available now. They can play around this Sans, going forward with a flicker. There's the damage we were looking for again, as Kyrie picks up a kill for himself.
Great coordination from the mid trio here, great showing, and more importantly, they understand that Bagwin, he's about to get level 4, so there's no point risking it, even though Kyrie does have a level lead on to HideOnBush. At this stage of the game, right, we're thinking about lane advantages, and from top side, we're probably not going to see much go on. It's a sandbag on that side. Kelra, he's got to be really careful. As long as that flicker is down, if he pushes himself too far forward, if Doom gets a Xamarin Force directly on top of him, he can kill him in that lane, so he's got to be careful for that.
What I want to see from Entity 7 here is just playing around their strengths, which is really, you know, real-world manipulation. We've seen this so much with the Eve pickups. Kyrie sees, he's like, HideOnBush, I see you in that bush. I'm going to go for this anyway. A lot of damage coming through. Alley-ooping it over to Sans as he's able to cap off a kill. Get out of my jungle, says Kyrie.
Yeah, the problem is that once you see the stun be thrown out, he has no way to kind of, close the get out with any iframes at that point. Kelra now getting an early Sky Piercer is great. The question is whether or not he's going to be able to participate in the very first fight here. Because so far, Sans has kind of given the layup over to Kairi. At some point, it's got to go over to Kelra.
Yeah, eventually, but the strengths, man, and this is why the Eudora is so just a top priority pick right now. You're seeing it in action in the early game to be able to set things up in this manner and also kind of supplement a jungler like the Hirara in the hands of Kairi is something that you can make work so well from the early game all the way to the late game. And now this turtle finally going to be started up here. It's been delayed pretty much out. They're going to go for another kill. Akashi once again shredded through. A golden hour is going to drop down. Now Kelra's a part of the fight. He wants to get the stacks he's looking for. Doom's got to defensively Zaman Force out. There's another kill for Onyx. And they'll finally make their way for this turtle here. Shin's got no option but to back off. There is a push in the mid, though, at least for something for Entity 7.
How much damage did he actually get onto that mid-tier 1? No, just the plating. The plating is good enough. That's still a little bit of money. He's going to lose a decent amount in his own jungle as Kelra decides, you know what? I ain't wasting no time whatsoever. Give me the gold on that top side before the shielding time's out.
You're seeing it right there, Gideon. That's just how scary that amount of damage can be, that a flicker is burned out from Shin. Just because, again, that snapshot, that interaction with the stun, and as they go into the jungle again, E7, no room to breathe, even on their own side, as Kelra will pick up another stack.
There's just so much CC to deal with, and nobody can really stop Keyboy from what he's doing. He's able to run through every single member of the side of E7, and until we see a full commitment, there's just no point. And now they're losing mid-tier 1, which is a pivotal point in the map.
Golden hour, drop down, Kelra lining up the shots, and it's right lined up for Shin, and now in the mid lane, Daytona's welcome into the team. They landed on through. Luffy's gone, but E7 looking to fight back down, running it for Sans. He's gonna have to burn the flicker. The re-engage comes through. Snapshots are there. Oh, Bagwin 1 HP. He'll get back to base. Could have been way worse for Entity 7 there.
Way worse, for sure. But man, let's look at the goal difference here, because somehow Kelra has been more effective in these team fights in comparison to Doom, who's been struggling again because of that golden hour. Let's look at this replay one more time, right? Golden hour catches onto 2 members. They line up the shots perfectly, but by the time Akashi actually gets into the middle of this fight, they kind of don't have enough damage, right? You can see that Doom, unfortunately, tries to get this kill onto Keyboy, but they still have plenty of battle spells. So the innate impact that we see from Onyx is just too much to handle, and Doom ain't gonna waste a free Purify just to get out of a golden hour or walk around it.
Yeah, for E7, they want to go ahead and start letting, Doom scale up. This is what we see with Harith, right? Eventually, you're able to do a whole lot with that Zaman Force. They just really haven't been able to have that upper hand fight against, this lineup that Onyx has. A big component to that, again, the golden hour. I'm surprised, Marcel, we haven't seen him pop up as much, especially back, wildcard and then even in MWI. And it's like, he's still so useful with that golden hour alone. But even Chip can do something similar. A little bit of stun here on Keyboy. This fight for this turtle, though, to see if anyone's actually able to secure it. Hidon Bush will just now pick up that Sky Piercer, though.
I'm not sure if that's even going to get any value this time around. Considering what's about to happen, Hidon Bush gets caught out just like that. I mean, these interceptions, they can't... Wait, hold on.
Oh, they're just going for it. Another stack for Kelra. Akashi could be next. Infernal Pursuit, but there's a double now for this Granger for Kelra. Stacks on stacks, and that's going to be a turret. And just another objective.
That's a huge miscommunication for the side of Entity 7. Onyx now going to take full advantage of this. Is Kelra now leading the charge by himself with the rest of his team to say, you know what? We're going to take everything. What are you going to do? Chase us? Doom trying, but he's not going to catch up to Keyboy anytime soon.
Yeah, you're not going to catch a Marcel like that, So, yeah, I don't know. That was clearly a mistake, a misstep there for E7 to be on that side, to lose their jungler, but the punishment also is just more turrets, more space. Even in that replay, it just happens so quickly, and then you get collapsed on. And if you line yourselves up like this for E7, you're trying to keep things from getting too worse. It's just, Onyx does such a great job at giving those stacks over to Kelra too. They know that that's a big part of these team fights now. I mean, look at the health bars. They're just dropping as they try to get to the base. They try to get away, but Bagwin's down, and now Akashi gets blown up as well from the shots from Kelra.
He didn't want to use his flicker either. Again, I feel like E7, they understand that their battle spells are like so key to their composition, but at the same time, they're not using it to save themselves. Now we have a 13-3 lead, a 5.7k lead at 8 minutes into the game, which is not, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty devastating on top of the fact that Kelra is almost max stacks at this stage of the game on his Sky Piercer.
Yeah. Keyboy and Sans both just doing an amazing job throughout this game too to set things up. Look at the difference here now in the mid lane. You're actually able to get Ludwig, Keyboy, and Sans. Do they want to fight this? I know they got Kelra there, but still, you don't want to get overzealous and get punished here. You got a 6,000 gold lead if you're Onyx. You want to keep that together for this Lord here in about 30.
First items priority. I like how Ludwig is like, no, I'm not going to think about sustain whatsoever. All I'm thinking about is maintaining my stacks, get me a Guardian helmet, and yeah, I'll make something happen. He is a thick boy for a good reason, but also such a huge deterrent for E7. Like, what are they going to do as soon as he starts charging up the Daytona's welcome, right? On the opposite side, I do want to see whether or not E7, specifically Vagwin, he needs to get a backline attack onto Kelra.
Yeah, I feel like he's been trying, you know, like he's been trying to find that positioning, but there just hasn't been that opening that they're looking for. And now at this point, it looks like E7's just gonna have to give this Lord over to Onyx, let them do their things. Akashi's gonna give the information. There's quite a few here. They're trying to push up top too, but Lord already secured by Kairi. Vagwin gone. I mean, this is just not where you want to be. And now Daytona's welcome to keep Akashi in place. Line it up again for Kelra to get a double again. And E7, it's looking really dire here in game one.
I think this game is almost over. Onyx is in a point where their snowball is a little too big. And they're purposely delaying Hide on Bush. He will not be able to get with the rest of his team, and now his death timer is staggered.
Yep. Already base turret's going to be worked on. Doom trying to drop it down with his Almond Force, but still just delaying possibly the inevitable here. Almost a 9,000 gold lead as Lord is going to approach this mid turret. The defense shield's still going to pop, but the Lord is still up, and now the pressure's here. 15 still, 4 Hide on Bush to be up. They're going to drop it down once again. Ludwig, Daytona's welcome. Throw him into the wall. Kairi, meanwhile, on the other side's working. Burns a flicker out. Akashi, no chance. And now looking to take out Doom as well. He's trying to avoid the shots from Kelra, but he can't avoid Kairi. And they're looking for more. Finally, Kelra goes down, but Kairi's here as well. It's a different KK connection. It's a maniac for Kairi. And that's all Onyx needed in this game one. Under 12 minutes, they'll cap out game one against Entity 7.
21-6 the final score, and they're gonna farm one more before they close out the very first match.